There's a new moon this week. So, oh, that's going to be loud. I thought it would be a good idea to do another reading with my favorite Deviant Moon tarot deck. So the other thing that's exciting about this particular new moon is that there is a solar eclipse during the day on Thursday. So Thursday, check out the solar eclipse if you can, and then Thursday evening there is a new moon. Also thought it might be a good idea to check in with folks and let you know how things are going on this Grow a New Body shaman diet, as I'm calling it. And what I've realized, sorry about that. What I've realized is that I made a few mistakes a little bit. I didn't realize, I think I had confused the sort of overall nutritional guidelines and confused them with the very specific 7-day detox program. So I think I had sort of entered into detox before I was supposed to, because he does recommend spending 3 weeks just working a plant-based diet before you dive into the specific 7-day cleanse protocol. So, and part of that was I needed to kind of listen to my body and, really just pay attention, although some things are emotional because I'm a comfort eater, as I'm sure many of you are. And so some of them I was recognizing as, mindsets that needed to be changed so that I could, be strong and comfortable in the habits I'm changing. But, I'm a morning person, and to not be able to eat until 11 was, the hangriness was real with this one. So I'm making some minor adaptations. So on the 3rd week, right after the solstice, I will do the 7-day detox. I'm going to check in with my primary care physician next week just to make sure that the protocols are not going to interrupt anything that I'm already trying to achieve normally. And then I told folks I've committed to doing this generally for 6 weeks, and I am committed to doing that. And then little by little, I'll add back in some of my favorite things one at a time. So 1 week at a time, I'll add, maybe first I'll add eggs and fish, like he suggests. Then maybe I'll add, of a more variety of root vegetables and maybe some non-gluten grains. Then maybe I'll bring my wine back in. Oh, and I haven't edited it yet, but I did a review of mud water. I don't know if any of you have been seeing those ads in your Facebook feed. So it's a coffee replacement, and so what? It's all right. I appreciate it. What it's trying to do. It doesn't replace the flavor of coffee. If you're like me and you love the flavor of coffee, there's really nothing that can replace it. What I'm working with now, and I don't have any sugar in it, so it's still not quite to my liking, because I usually like 1 or 2. Not a lot of sugar, just a little bit. So what I've got here, which seems to be so far the best combination, is half nice strong coffee like I like it, and half mud water. Today, instead of creamer, I used a spoonful of coconut oil. So that's been a kind of interesting textural and flavor adventure today. Still don't know if I'm going to commit to mud water as like my long-term coffee replacement. The half and half seems like it might be doing okay. Or I may just decide that green tea is going to be my new morning ritual. But for now, it's not bad. It helps me not miss my morning ritual so much. And then next week I'm very excited. My coursework begins in the School of Energy Medicine with the Four Winds Society, or as I just like to call it shorthand, Shaman School. So I've been, getting my trunk and my letter from Hogwarts and buying all my supplies. There are a few, there's one particular crystal that I'm going to have to acquire, which I suspect is going to get a good one, and it needs to be good, it's going to be a bit of a chunk of change. Probably at least a couple $100. So, working towards that. And then for the full moon, so this is, I don't know if you all have been watching these posts for a while, but um, back in March when I started meditating, I think I remember telling folks that from January through March, because I was doing tarot readings every day as a new thing, and I love doing tarot readings every day. And the tarot kept telling me to meditate, and I was like, okay, I can't ignore it. So in March I started meditating. A lot of things have really improved since then. And so lately, the messages I'm getting are, I need to do shadow work. So for those of you who have explored, Jungian work, the shadow is definitely something that if we don't pay attention to it, it manifests itself in our lives as, in actual unpleasant ways in reality. And so I suspect that part of my shadow has to do with why I have such issues with scarcity mindset, getting rid of scarcity mindset and embracing abundance. So that is what I'm probably going to be working on maybe this week and perhaps even for a bit longer. So, the last time I did any shadow work was in a retreat with Amira de la Garza. So Amira, if you're watching, hey, I'm going to do some more shadow work. And in that session, what I learned, I had already known that lying is kind of a trigger for me. I don't really dig lying. It really bugs me when people lie. I hate catching people in a lie. But through understanding that that was part of my shadow, it allowed me to recognize and just sort of take it into account. Like if I caught someone lying, it wasn't about some sort of personal betrayal. Lying is actually a form of creativity. It's a form of storytelling. If you approach it in a positive, creative way. So I'm curious what the other shadow is lurking inside my psyche. So here we go. Oh, and in about 45 minutes, I'm going to do my next session of dream tending, which I'm doing at the Pacifica Graduate Institute for their certificate level 1 in dream tending. And yeah, folks, join my Patreon, because what I'm going to be doing already, if you're on my Patreon and you want to get like a personalized tarot reading, I'm charging now. I figured out how to ask for a price. So I'm charging $25, and if you're on my Patreon, which is $5 a month to be on it, you get a 20% discount on any of the services that I'm offering, that I'm learning. So I can't really offer, well, I probably could, but I don't feel like it's ethical to begin offering dream tending or even, or the integral deep listening, because I still, there's a certification I need to pursue. However, for both integral deep listening and the shamanic healing work that I'm doing, I do have to do case studies. So I'm going to be looking to volunteers from the Patreon folks to be my case study folks for shamanic healing, for integral deep listening. And since I need to do the integral deep listening case studies probably soon, those might be, if you're interested in asking questions of your dreams, I am learning a couple of different ways to do that, and I would be very happy to offer that up for free to folks who want to be part of a kind of test study. So if you're willing to, be documented, of course your privacy will be respected, everything will be anonymous. So yeah, that's all happening. So today, let's see, in honor of our full, new moon here in June, let's see what the cards have to say to us. Let's see if I can talk and select cards. Ooh, I can. Oh, that's exciting. Because then what I can tell you, see, now I already forgot what I was going to say. Isn't it funny? say we can multitask may not actually be completely true. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So, if you've been following my social media, you've probably noticed that I'm already starting to kind of share with folks what I'm learning in these trainings that I'm doing with dream tending, the shamanic healing, and integral deep listening. Because I don't know if you're like me, but I highlight things in my books. I've always been a highlighter, and I sort of hate throwing away books because I like having them around so I can revisit them. And having the books highlighted allows me to remember the fondest moments from the books. And those moments I'm sharing with all of you on my social media feed. So, just little tidbits from the readings that I think are inspiring, little tidbits from the readings that I think can be helpful to other folks. Three more. So I hope you've been enjoying those, and if you enjoy them, let me know. Let me know what your favorites are. Let me know if there's something that resonates with you. Let me know if something that you have read or something that you noticed, if it calls to you in some way and you feel like sharing. I think I would love to hear, and I bet other folks would love to hear as well. Wow, that card just really wants to be there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more. This full moon reading, let's put them in position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so here in the first position is the Inquirer present day. So this is us, or me, the surrogate you. This looks to be a 10 of Cups. And it does appear to be, the cups usually have to do with sort of emotional wealth, emotional well-being. So when one's cup runs over with love or joy, that is common here. And this does appear to be just a really happy family. We've got a boy wandering around with his wand, wandering. And then it looks like there's a very young child with a pentacle in his hand on the shoulder of what appears to be the father carrying his sword, of course. And the mother holding her family close to her. So this to me seems to represent the state of us today. I hope that you all are feeling joy and abundance. Let's just take a quick gander at what the artist says about that particular card. And again, the artist here is, what is his name? His name is Patrick Valenza, Deviant Moon Tarot, in case you want to look that up for yourself. So what are we at? 10 of Cups. Where are my cups? Okay. A wounded soldier returning from war is embraced by his loving family. 10 cups rise up over a full moon in celebration of this joyful reunion. Great, so the next time, if any of you have been reunited, I know that with COVID, a lot of us were not able to see our families for many, many months. So if you're in those times of reunion, I know that I have really, really enjoyed having small gatherings with some of my friends who've been vaccinated already. It just helps me feel like a normal human again. Well, I don't like to use the word normal, but like a well human. So the next card is our past influences, and this is the Page of Pentacles reversed. So if you want to take a little look at our buddy, the Page of Pentacles. Okay, Pentacles again usually have to do with wealth, financial well-being. I do like our guy here with sort of mismatched shoes, and looks like he's sort of pieced together with random tools in a sort of steampunk kind of way. He's got some nuts and bolts lying on the ground. So Page of Pentacles reversed is curious. Let's see what our artist has to say about the Page of Pentacles. Oh, he's a scholarly page. How perfect. So this is past influences. The scholarly page reflects upon an old pentacle he has found in a scrap pile. He has built himself with spare parts like these and knows the value of such remarkable discovery. So the reversed, because we do have this in a reversed position, is someone who opposes new ideas, rebellious youth, close-minded. That's very interesting. I have had, for all of my friends out there who are fellow scholars or folks somehow rooted in academia, the past year has been a year that I've really questioned what our purpose is in academia. What are we doing there? Are we actually really fostering the kinds of education and deep critical thought that's going to improve the world, or are we just repeating structures of power that have left us all unwell? That is the question that I have been pondering, so that is not surprising that it shows up in the past influences. So in the position of subconscious influences, we have the Four of Wands. It's such a lovely card. Here, take a look at that. Whoops. So the Four of Wands appears to be, I'm sorry, this is not a 4, this is a 6. 6 of Wands. Why is there a 6? Oh, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the 6th is the one being held by, she looks a bit like a queen bee. She really looks a bit like a queen bee. It does look like she's got 5 helpers there. These are subconscious influences, and let us look at what the artist has to say about the 6 of Wands. Tonight there is a celebration in the woods. The grand metamorphosis has finally occurred. A new being emerges victoriously from a moonlit flower bud. 5 wands are held high in honor of the event. Grasping a flowering 6th wand, the creature bestows good fortune on all souls present. The upright meaning is a new hero, change, metamorphosis, emerging better than before, victory. Yeah, folks, if you have been sort of treating this COVID pandemic as a time to be in your cocoon, like I have, it's time to come out. It's time to come out and embrace whoever you're supposed to be. It's time to come out and really walk into your power and live it fully and be it. That is subconscious influences, so let's not forget to listen to that. In the position of secret desires and wishes is, our lovely Empress. Isn't she just lovely? So the Empress is usually a card that indicates tapping into the divine feminine. She does appear to be quite comfortable on her throne there. She appears to be some sort of mammal lizard creature. Really love this shape. So that is in a position of secret desires and wishes. I definitely am happy to be embracing the inner feminine. But let's take a quick gander and see if the artist has any extra meaning for us. The Empress. She sits on her garden throne holding a flower that emanates from her own body. Oh, it's not a lizard, it's a plant. As the goddess of fertility, she is one with nature. Strong female figure, fertility, maternal. So Secret desires and wishes, yeah, it seems to be pretty clear that we are desiring to tap into our inner feminine, and it is about time. So let's get on it. Hidden forces. Okay, so here we have the Seven of Swords reversed. So again, just take a little look at that lovely card. I'm always a fan of the Jester. Always a fan of the Jester. And so here we have, well, he's not really a Jester. He seems like he is a sword swallower. But he does appear to be someone who may also be some kind of acrobat, maybe clown, jester figure, multi-purpose. Swords are usually about action. Sevens are kind of a magical number. What is this? Hidden forces, and it is reversed. So let's see what our artist has to say about the Seven of Swords. I apologize for the loudness of the air conditioning. You can tell when it turns off how strong it is. Seven of Swords. The Harlequin attempts, Arlecchino, of course. The Harlequin attempts to swallow his swords in a dramatic display of skill, yet his plan is flawed. The rope which binds the blades is frayed and will soon break, leaving him in a tragic predicament. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Oh yeah, if you look closely at that card, at the rope there, oops, I don't know if I can get that in focus. It's starting to fray. Again, we have it in the reversed position. So in the upright position, it would have been ill-conceived plans, a path to failure, or poor attempt. But in the reversed position, it actually indicates that whatever plan we have is well thought out. It also indicates strong advice. That's promising to me because I have been sort of fumbling along trying to figure out exactly what healing offerings I'm going to be doing for folks. And so it's been a little weird to try to plan that, but I'm hoping that I don't have to do anything too elaborate, that the plans I have in place can now begin to blossom. So in the position of number 6, this is events yet to come. And it appears to be the Two of Cups. And the Two of Cups appear to be an interesting pair. They do appear to be a couple, though the woman is nude and she's holding her belly, which, you know, the belly can be the creative life force, the belly can be rebirth, regeneration, creation, giving birth, the womb. And her partner there appears to be a dead soldier, still in his uniform, but his head is a skull. So the Two of Cups seems like it might have to do about, romantic love pairings, but there does seem to be something a bit amiss about it. So let's see what the Two of Cups, what the artist says about this particular Two of Cups. Midnight has been tempted by death, and a pact has been made between the two lovers. Raising two cups, they toast the bond of their union. So yeah, it's just love, harmonious partnership coming together. That is events yet to come. So if you've been hoping for some sort of new flame in your life, this perhaps might indicate that something is coming your way. But it doesn't necessarily have to be about romantic love. It can also just be about, it can be about creative partnerships. It can be about sort of deep friendships. So I do hope that what I believe is happening at the end, well, and we can't even really call it the end of the pandemic, because here in the United States we're very fortunate that it seems to be under control, but as other countries are showing us, we cannot be too complacent, because I think the UK is having another uptick, India is in terrible shape, all of South America is really in awful shape right now. But what I hope we learn from this is we need those intimate connections. We need those one-on-one encounters. We need those small group encounters. And I know that many of us have been isolated for the last 12 months or so. So I really, really hope that those deep friendships, that you reconnect with each of your friends one at a time and really just find a way to reach out to them individually and see, check in, how are you, what are you doing, let's share time and space together, even if it's still only virtual right now. I know some folks are not really allowed to do a lot of traveling that they want to or seeing other folks. So cherish that, hang on to that, and be ready to embrace renewed and rekindled friendships in addition to old ones. So in this position, this is the surrounding environment in position 7. Oh, and we have this very curious figure. So this appears to be the 6 of Swords. Very much reminds me of one of my favorite movies of all time, The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. We have this fascinating, what appears to be a hot air balloon floating through the sky. The person in the craft that the hot air balloon is carrying seems to be some sort of official. I don't know if he's military or some sort of, other sort of official figure like a magistrate or something. But if you look down at the bottom, sorry, it's so hard to do this here. He does seem to be flying away from a village ablaze in fire. So let's see what the artist says about our 6 of Swords. This is in the position of the surrounding environment. The city is ablaze. Turmoil has taken over the land. A lone citizen ferries himself to new shores in hope of finding peace. 6 swords aid in creating a vehicle for escape. So that's an interesting metaphor. If the sword, which is usually a symbol of conflict, but it can also be a symbol of action. If our tools of war can be reused and repurposed to be the structure of transformation and lifting us out of the turmoil, that would be a really delightful thing to do. That's also very curious because I was having some symbols in my visions and my meditations come up recently. And I didn't know what they were, but I realized it's the symbol of radioactivity. And I've just been reading in one of my books for these courses about how the only thing science was able to get useful out of quantum physics was weapons of mass destruction. And yet, as this author is saying, there's so much more to quantum physics, and it can be used for very positive ways. So let's try to repurpose our war machines to help people transform. That would be that surrounding environment. How curious! And the artist says it is depicting a journey, escaping bad situations and entering good ones. Amen to that. I'm very happy to be escaping a bad situation and entering something better. I hope you are as well. So in position 8, we have the Ace of Swords, and she is reversed. So the Ace of Swords, she is such a lovely card. I seem to recall that this is about a strong inner warrior. She is reversed though, and I forget what that means when she comes up reversed. But she appears also to be an angel. She's got very large wings. So even though she looks a little bit maybe skinny and haggard, she's still very fierce and very strong. However, she is reversed. So let's see what our... Oh, she's an archangel. How lovely. An archangel guards herself with a single sword. Although thorns wrap themselves around the blade, she is protected by her strength and will triumph over adversities around her. However, she is reversed, and it's in a position of influence of others. This is about abuse of power, tyranny, and destruction. So that's interesting. I know that all over the world, not just here in the United States, we are dealing with situations where despots are really trying to use populism to put themselves into positions of power, to consolidate their power. And boy, yeah, that's the big one. We all need to work together to not allow tyranny to remain in the hands of those who would use it as such. Um, well, tyranny will only be used to disempower folks. That's not what we're supposed to be about. We're supposed to be about encouraging each other to find our power. So let's just be mindful and cognizant that the hard work is not over. I know a lot of my friends are feeling really happy that a certain troll is out of the White House. But there are Republicans all over the country trying to pass laws making it very difficult to vote. Like massive voter suppression laws going on all over this country. I'm hoping that my friends in Brazil are actually going to be able to impeach their troll that is currently in office down there. I'm hoping that my friends in the Philippines and other places in the world can work together to uproot folks who would cause all of the rest of us harm. So this is the spiritual forces, and here we have in the reversed position we have what appears to be the Ten of Wands. So this is an interesting figure. He does appear to be kind of hoarding these wands and possibly escaping on a road to somewhere, nowhere. We're on a road to nowhere. And I always forget what wands represent. So this is a Ten of Wands in a reversed position. And our artist says about his wands, an overburdened worker. Oh, he's not being greedy. He's just had a long day's work. An overburdened worker slowly makes his way home after a long day's labor. Although he struggles, his abilities are sufficient to manage his heavy load. So, in a reversed position, and it does talk about how even in an upright position, it's oppression, having a burden to bear, being unable to handle overwhelming stress. That's spiritual forces. Interesting. In the reversed, it indicates loss, an inability to maintain stability, and treacherous actions. I've been reminded recently, since I'm starting to be trained in energetic work and spiritual healing, we do have to protect ourselves, and we need to ground ourselves all the time, every day, every single time when we do this work, because we want to make sure that there are no negative energies coming our way that might sort of latch onto us. So I think it's important to remember that spiritual forces doesn't always mean like, woo, everything's all lovely and perfect and wonderful. We do have to be conscious and cognizant of our balance in that regard. So that is in the position of spiritual forces. So, curious. Let's protect ourselves. I'm wearing an amethyst. So that is a stone that does have protective qualities. Oh, and the star. She's so lovely. It is reversed. So the final outcome. Here's our star. Isn't she pretty? Right? She's just hanging out under the stars, out in nature, filling her vessel with fresh water, sky-clad, just not even caring about what the world thinks about her. So this is the star in a reversed position. So I have to be reminded what that means. So the artist says this is a maiden who sits on the shore and pours water into a crystal pool. 7 stars shine behind her, bringing hope to the lands below. Oh, okay. So in an upright position, it's a very good, positive sign. However, reversed, it is about doubting one's abilities and stagnant creativity. Oh, there we go with that self-doubt again. That's something I've been thinking about and working on for several weeks, if not months, if not, my whole life. The other thing that I've been doing, which I hope to be able to share in whatever time it's meant to share. I'm trying to not be in such a rush to do things all the time. But Mike and I started writing songs about, he never pays attention to the lyrics. He's like, let's just figure out what the chords are. And then I always have to go from the lyrics and the melody. That's just how I work. But I've started writing songs really in response to all of this emotional, mental, and spiritual healing that I've been going through. So as things emerge, I will be very excited to share them with you. So that is it for the new moon reading. I hope you are enjoying it. I hope it bodes well for you. I hope you have gotten something out of it. And